Labor Day weekend in 2020, I was out checking fishermen and I was talking to a couple of guys that were fishing off a boat. One of them told me that he had hooked a nice northern pike and it had gotten away. Most fishermen that have fished a bunch know what fish they're hooking into. So I was hoping that it'd be 1 or 2 pike that we'd find. Unfortunately, we pulled, I believe it was 9 pike last fall. Big fish that would decimate a trout fishery. Unfortunately, somebody's decision to illicitly introduce an apex predator into here is not what we wanted. So to manage the fishery the way we need it managed, the decision was made to drain it.
It's frustrating. Once these fish get introduced and they start to reproduce and we start to see more of them, they eat their way through house and home, and that's all you can find in this is just northern pike, and then the northern pike start feeding on northern pike, and then at that point there's not much you can do from a fisheries management standpoint because they are such effective predators.
The only access for water coming in is off the Highline Canal. Any fish species that ends up in here is brought in. We don't stock pike, so for these fish to end up here, they were brought in by a person. As much time and effort as we put in, there's still probably going to be some fish lost. We're not going to be able to get them all, but we've made every effort that we can to try and get the majority of these fish out of here.
Nice work. It's looking awesome. This is kind of our last big push to move these fish out of here. This is going to be a good test to see how we did. The lake's very small right now, and we're putting a lot of gill nets out there. So we'll see how we do, and hopefully we're able to move as many fish as possible over to Highline before this dries up.
Cool deal, man. Yeah, we'll see you in the morning. All right.
This lake specifically is really special to me because this is where my family fishes. I bring my daughter out here fishing. I mean, this is where she caught her first rainbow trout. As an angler and as a fisheries biologist, I really love warm water fisheries. Bass fishing is my passion, and there's a lot of good work we can be doing and have been doing, and things like this just really set back those efforts and tie up resources that we could otherwise be doing some really neat work with. We got quite a bit of help, and a big reason for that is because I think there's a chance that we see more fish in the nets today. Kind of a labor-intensive operation, but sure hoping to get as many fish moved as we can. Oh, there you go. Little Panther Martin.
We can't have people coming out doing illegal introductions, or this could become the end result. And if you're going to mess with a fishery, worst case scenario is then we end up draining it, killing off a fishery that people have become accustomed to fishing, and then having to start over. We aren't putting northern pike in here for a reason.
What you got there?
Largemouth bass.
Best case scenario, probably an 8 to 9 month process from finding the first pike in here to draining it and refilling it and getting those first few batches of fish in here. I don't think that this is a situation that any of us really want to be in with Colorado Parks and Wildlife. The hope is to move everything we can out, make the best of a bad situation, and move these fish to other waters to minimize that loss of fish during this draining process.
So,